Watch this video if you're keen on generating press, publicity, PR without having a ton of time or having to hire a publicist. I have generated a lot of press for myself, publications like CNN, TV news outlets like Access Hollywood, Entertainment Tonight, and others, so I've got lots to say on this topic to help you out. Stay with me. I'm Pallen, a brand strategist. Welcome to my channel where I promise practical advice to build your brand. Today we are going to build that brand through press. That's the goal. It has certainly helped me over the years. Press has helped me legitimize my personal brand from the outside. Prospective clients taking me more seriously as an expert. When my bio is read for speaking engagements, I always include a list of the top outlets that I've been featured in. People take note in getting placed in publications. It isn't necessarily going to land immediate ROI, but certainly cumulatively it's going to help, and it's not as difficult as it sounds. So let's talk about that. I'll break this video into 3 sections. First, the pre-work that you need to do, then the pitch, then we'll talk about AI and how you can use that to work through your PR-related task list, and then we'll talk about hiring help, not a publicist that you have to fork out 5 figures monthly to, but other considerations for professionals that can help you reach your goals without price tags that will make your eyes water. Okay, lots to cover. Let's dive right in. This is where you need to start. That's right. You're not going to start with a pitch, but you are going to start with some very important pre-work. And the very first thing that you should do, honestly, is head over and listen to this podcast episode with my friend Lucy Warner. I'm going to talk about her in a second, but she is awesome and she gives some really valuable insight on how to generate publicity for your personal brand. Let me just digest it for you. There are 3 main things that you need to do as pre-work. So let's talk about the first one, business goals. None of this matters unless you are crystal clear on what it is you are trying to accomplish as a business or as a brand. What is your business goal and why might a journalist talk about whatever it is you're pitching? If your goal is to reach new clients, then you're going to want to generate some conversation around something that those people are going to be interested in. Speaking of those people, next let's talk about your audience. Be clear on exactly who your audience is. I don't want general demographics, men and women between the age of 20 to 54. No. Nowadays you need to get very specific with qualities of your audience. Things like what are their behaviors, what are their values? How are you on the same page with your audience? What do you share in common with the journalist that you're going to pitch? These are things you need to be thinking about as part of the pre-work. Next, you need something visual for a busy journalist to reference quickly. Here are 2 ideas. The first idea is that you might have a page on your website dedicated to press publicity. In my case, I have my press and PR on my speaking page. Okay, so people can get a quick glimpse at what I do, what I am as a brand strategist, as a speaker, and what I offer. So a little bio here, as well as my TV and press. This is directly on my website and it's very easy to find and understand. Another option which you might combine with what you have on the web is a media kit. Now, I think a great example here is this website for Jasmine Star by my friends Go Live. They've done a really beautiful job of this, and I love that right here I can click this button and open the media kit, which looks like this. Again, I'm showing you a really ambitious example here, but even something as simple as a 1-pager like this with your bio and maybe a few links or testimonials. I mean, this example is really incredible. There's some press. This is really well done, and since I'm making a video, I'm trying to give you a really good example that you might even be inspired by to make something simpler. The goal here is that you have somewhere to send, something to send a very busy journalist so they get what you're all about. A lot of this comes down to the art of hyping yourself. Not my phrase, it belongs to my dear friend Lucy Werner. Here's what she means by that. By the way, all the sites I'm featuring, including Jasmine Stars by Go Live, this website by my friend Lucy Werner, who I'm about to talk about, I'm linking to all of these in the description below so that they're handy for you to click on. Lucy says hyping yourself is all about having the confidence to put yourself out there. She does a really, really good job of explaining this idea, highlighting the fact that many people don't actually like to introduce themselves. They don't like to do an elevator pitch, but you really need to think about the ways, all the ways that you can get yourself out there. She does such a good job of this, outlining how she can be a speaker, a panelist, a podcast guest, even guest articles. She says there's an art to hyping yourself. It's not about you, it's how you can benefit your audience, the other person with the skills, assets, and experience. You need to show someone how you can support them as a business. So now that we've done the pre-work, let's move on to the pitch itself. Here's what you should avoid. The good old spray and pray, they call it. My friends over at Relevance do a really good job of explaining what this is, spray and pray PR. They say this began as a combat term for firing automatic weapons without taking proper aim. Now apply it to PR, embracing the idea that the more the merrier, where marketers mistakenly assume that everyone needs to know about whatever it is they're trying to promote. When it comes to PR, quantity is not necessarily the thing that you're after. If you're messaging 300 people, it's going to seem cold because you're not actually able to listen to, for example, 300 podcasts before messaging them. Instead, set a target for what you're actually trying to hit. Is it one podcast a month or one conference a month? Then pick a list of, let's say, maximum 10 to contact, starting with who do you already know that you could aspire to work with? Think about your existing network before spraying and praying. You know what to avoid, so now let me give you a working template for your pitch. In this video, I'm moving fast, so I'm giving you some of the highlights, but this blog post I have over on my website, which I'm going to link to in the description, is really useful. It's going to go into more detail on my experience with press, as well as in detail on some of the recommendations I'm making, including a template for your actual pitch. I've got an email that you can copy and paste. You might want to do an abbreviated version of this for a DM or let's say a tweet, but here you can actually go and get this template. We start with a really punchy subject line. We'll tell them who you are very quickly, that elevator pitch in action. We'll tell them about what it is we're pitching and why this benefits their audience, reason 1, 2, and 3, lots of reasons. And here we'll reiterate what is the value in having you a part of this. What does a journalist get by you participating in this? Sharing the interview or article on social media, mentioning the publication in the newsletter, as well as providing a testimonial that they can use in their marketing materials. You really want to make it clear the value. Anyways, this is linked in the description if you want to start with this as a template. You're probably now wondering who you'll send this pitch to. Journalists, of course, but it needs to go to the right ones, and here's how to find them. Okay, there are lots of ways to do this, but for the purpose of this demo, I want to show you what you can do within the means of what you've already got. We've all got access to Google. So here I'm going to type what it is I'm interested in looking at or pitching, not just personal branding on its own. I don't think that's enough, but let's say using AI, using artificial intelligence. These are two topics that are very relevant to what I'm talking about these days. I'm going to filter by news. So here we can actually see filtered by news, articles that have been published recently. There's a few things I want you to notice. When pitching, I typically try to ignore the Entrepreneur or Forbes examples. These are not journalists writing these articles. These are usually entrepreneurs, CEOs that are trying to build up their domain authority by getting placement with press. So they're not actually journalists that would likely write about you. I could be wrong in that case, but I typically glaze over those. I focus on publications like Fortune. That's a good one. Social Media Butterfly, that could be good. Military.com, Digital Journal. These are better. A Harvard Business Review. These are better than democratized publications like Forbes and Entrepreneur. Basically, they can pay to be published there. So we want to look and see what people are talking about right now. Recency is really super important. I'm not really concerned with anything published older than 3 months ago. That's considered old news. Let's go ahead and look at this one on Fortune. This looks like an article that is related to what it is I want to pitch, right? The intersection of personal branding and AI. Is this something people should be concerned about? I've got strong opinions on this. Maybe I've got a product that I want to pitch that actually satisfies or provides a solution to what people are worried about. Luckily, on most publication websites, I can actually click the name of the journalist and actually confirm that they are in fact a reporter or a journalist. Good news, this is one. As well, it actually gives me her email and her contact information. Not all of them do that, but it's pretty awesome that in this case, I can actually just contact her directly. If you can get the email address, that's always going to be better than ending up in someone's social media direct message inbox, where, let's be honest, this journalist is probably flooded. What happens if you don't know the email address of someone that you're trying to contact? Hunter.io is always my first go. They give you a limited number of searches, free per month. Here we type in the domain of the publication that we're looking for. There's Fortune. And here I can actually see some email addresses of people at that domain. In fact, I don't think this is Fortune Media Company. Let's have a little look. You want to make extra sure. There we go. I had the wrong one. You want to make extra sure that you've got the right domain. Normally it'll show the little icon there to just confirm. Bingo, we've got 226 results, so I could probably find the name of the journalist that I'm looking for there. If not, I can have a look at the email structure and pretty much do a good guess of how I could actually email that person. In this case, it's first name, period, last name, and that format looks to be pretty consistent. I'll link to hunter.io in the description. Another free tool that you might want to use that is definitely useful to look at email structure or domain structure is this one. email-format.com. Here I'll do exactly the same thing. And what this site is specifically going to do is it's going to give me the format of email addresses. It's not going to have such a wide search engine like the previous one, but it is going to tell you what that email format is so that you can experiment to get that email sent to the right person. There are two services that operate almost like a dating website, pairing a journalist and then someone like you who might be hungry for relevant exposure. I'll explain those. This approach is different than trying to track down journalists that might be interested in your pitch or what you have to talk about. There are two essentially databases that you can register with to be one step closer to those journalists that are looking for experts on particular topics, and those topics might be areas of expertise that you have. The first and definitely my favorite one of the two is called Quoted. I have actually replied to some of these requests for experts and had coverage talking about things like this to get registered in the media. Quoted is really great. You can also create a free expert account. If you do pay, you do benefit from additional features just like everything else. But again, this is designed for people with no PR representation looking to secure press coverage, and it's definitely done that for me. The other and maybe potentially more popular option is Haro, Help a Reporter Out. This is now owned by Cision. Not my favorite option. I have definitely replied to many of these over the years and found that there's just too many people participating in this and it's much harder to actually get noticed. But I'm mentioning it because it's out there and other people talk about it too. Maybe others have had better success. Haro, Help a Reporter Out, is a great place to just be registered to see where journalists are looking for experts. You might be one of them. Finally, I want to mention that there's a hashtag that you could follow on Twitter, or I guess it's called X now, hashtag journal request. Okay, so just type in this hashtag on Twitter and you will actually see journalists, particularly in the UK, if that's a market that's relevant for you, it is for me. You can see here that journalists just actually go straight to Twitter, straight to X, whatever it's called, looking for experts on particular timely, relevant topics. Have a little look. Better yet, set up some alerts so that you can get some emails or alerts, potentially using a platform like TweetDeck, to be notified if a journal request is relevant to you based on keywords. I have another video that talks all about this, which I will link to on the screen right now so that you can watch it. This one is from about a year ago, but still some very good relevant information on doing this specifically. So let's now talk about the role of AI in helping you generate press and publicity. I definitely think there are some impressive ways that it can help you. Now, are we at the place where AI is going to completely write the perfect press release for you right now or handle all of your tasks related to generating PR? Probably not, but there are two clear ways that it can help. There are lots of articles about this right now using ChatGPT to write a press release. I've read many of these, and it's always interesting to me when people reveal what they write as a prompt. This is what they start with. This is what it shoots back. Obviously, you can hop in ChatGPT and test this out for yourself, but most people that are writing on this say, well, it's great as a starting point, but certainly you're going to need to spend a good amount of time editing it. It's just not quite there yet. It's, we're all excited about what ChatGPT can do, but certainly the better your prompt is that you provide, the better the result you're going to get. I'll link to this article in the description below. Here's another one where he walks through the process. This is what it does. This is what he has to change and adjust. Some sample prompts here that might inspire you. These are pretty straightforward, but he even says at the end that you're going to have to, and I quote, edit the hell out of it. So that's the first thing, using ChatGPT to write a press release, or at least a version that you could start with that you can improve and make better. What about beyond the press release? This really is the coolest AI tool that I have found related to and specifically for PR. It's got a network of over 100,000 active journalists. Not only can you discover those journalists, you can also discover podcasts you could be pitching as a guest. It follows issues and crises. And best of all, it has a free plan, which we always love to test something out. Their free plan allows you to generate pitch copy up to 5 times a month. This is really cool. Predict media interest for one user with US-based data, as well as podcasts and account support. Now the price goes up, it's pretty steep, maybe affordable for a company. That's for up to 25 times to generate a pitch. Again, predictive media interest and a few other benefits there. Definitely worth trying out since it's free. Maybe I'll go into detail on this platform in another video. For now, I'm saying go and try it yourself and see what you think. There are not a ton of AI platforms specific to PR, so this one caught my attention. Finally, and I know this video is all about doing this on your own, but you may find yourself in a position position to ask for help. As I said earlier, I'm still adamant that a 5-figure monthly PR firm is likely not the solution that you're gonna want or you're gonna see ROI on. It's possible you could, but the chances are slim. So here's who you should hire for help. You should not go hire some expensive PR firm. No, if you're gonna do this yourself, then learn the strategy that you need. So I love this course from Lucy, who I've mentioned many times in this video already. She has a course called Introduction to PR Strategy for Personal Brands. If you're a personal brand, check this out. It's linked in the description. Or if you wanna hire someone, I'm gonna give you an example of the type of person that I would hire. This is Claire Shields, my friend in the UK, who owns Harley Street PR. Notice something very important on her website. She says pay by results. In her case, she works with health and beauty PR, but I love that the services she offers is based on the performance of what she's able to book for you. In this case, she does beauty and health PR, so she might not be the person you hire specifically for your product or service, but I have worked with Claire before and she is absolutely incredible, so I'm gonna link to her in the description below. I love the premise of her business positioning is that she gets paid when she works and she succeeds for you. She's awesome. Finally, you might consider hiring someone specific for promotions help. I mean, you might go look on Upwork is probably the first place that comes to mind when finding a promotional assistant, or better yet, it might be someone who already knows you, maybe a friend of yours, maybe a stay-at-home mom or dad, someone looking for some part-time work, but someone that knows you well, someone who knows what you're looking for, and definitely someone who knows when you'd say yes or no to an opportunity. A virtual assistant can be great for this, but I recommend finding someone who has proven experience in this area. This is definitely the kind of task that might make sense to delegate to someone else, ideally someone with experience. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground today. I hope that you're able to take any bit from this and implement it. That's the thing that brings me the joy the most in the content that I create, is when you listen to me and actually go and do something with it. Let me know what you're going to do or try next. Pop that in the comments below. And if you've got any lingering questions, comment below. Let's keep the conversation going on down there. I respond to those personally. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like. That helps other people discover these videos, which we work hard to create for you. And subscribe for more of my videos on branding, positioning, building, and promoting your brand. Next, I'm sharing a few videos I think you'll be interested in. I'm Pallen. Thanks for watching. Those are coming up next.